Wouldn't it be great if you could predict the future? I mean, imagine you would be able to tell me who's going to win the World Series or what the stock market's going to do or what your kids are going to do when they get done with their schooling. Imagine how great that would be. Well, I can't help you do that. But one thing I can help you do is to anticipate and potentially mitigate some of the problems that you might have implementing a new idea or a new innovation. Hi, I'm Bruce Spurlock. I'm a physician and healthcare leader committed to helping decision makers and leaders navigate change with clarity. On Viral Healthcare, we examine the ideas spreading across the healthcare system and what it will take to implement them sustainably and effectively. So today's reflection, we're going to talk a little bit about what we did on our podcast on Tuesday, this notion of using a pre-mortem. It's a great tool in order to understand some of the problems, some of the dangers, some of the potential failure modes that you might have in your idea or innovation that you're considering. The great thing about this is it gives a way to legitimize dissent in the organization during the decision-making process. It allows for a group of different perspectives and ideas to sort of raise and surface issues that might otherwise be hidden and be contained with, that would pop up when it's either too late or super expensive and difficult to deal with. And it allows you to understand exactly what you're getting yourself into in advance before you start doing it. So how do you do a good pre-mortem? Well, it's very simple. It's actually almost too simple in how you think about it. You ask this question: what would it look like if in 18 to 24 months, or maybe use 36 months, sometime in the defined future, this project totally failed? Not didn't underperform, not we didn't get out of what we wanted, it totally failed, and maybe even caused harm to the organization. What would have happened to cause that? Why would we have failed? And it's so interesting when you ask that question, it unlocks people's ability to look for those weak spots in the organization. It gives permission to sort of think about the negative and then to do something about it, to prepare for it, to anticipate it. That's the point of a pre-mortem. So how do you do it well? The first thing you have to do is do it in the right timing. You don't want to do a pre-mortem too early, because people need to have enough information about how they're going to be answering it. If it's too new of an innovation, something they have to do more research and to understand, they may not be able to predict some of the failure modes or pitfalls that you're going against. The second part is not doing it too late. If you've already decided and investment has been committed, it's really hard to pull back from it. So just before you're ready to make that period of going forward and in the go-no-go component of your decision making, it's really valuable to think about it. And you get a group of people in a room. It doesn't matter if it's 5 people or 10 people. I've done it with 200 people in a room. The key is to get a diverse set of perspectives. And when you do that, you really find things out that you might have known or might not have known, these unknown knowns and unknown unknowns. So it's kind of interesting to think about how you surface that in an either anonymous way or somehow where there are people writing it in advance. You have everybody write it down, and then you go through them one by one without evaluation, much like you do brainstorming. And then once you get them all on the table, like usual brainstorming techniques, you group them together, you kind of see if you can make them fewer, and then you prioritize them by their frequency, the severity, or their likelihood of occurring. And again, some of this is your best guess, but it's at least the exercise of doing it. Then comes the most important part, is what are you going to do about it? Are you going to take action to anticipate? Are you going to design in some ways to uncover or prepare or protect for some of these things happening? Are you going to create timelines or toll gates or milestones in the future that you have to do? Or maybe you just want to think about, like, how am I going to be looking for this aggressively so that we really reevaluate at the appropriate time in the future. It's a wonderful exercise. We do it in our organization. I've done it in many other organizations, but I can't tell you, it's so easy to skip something like this because we generally come in overconfident. The research suggests that executives and decision makers are overconfident about what they're going to accomplish, what the upsides of a new idea is, where we can actually perform at our optimal with it, rather than what reality might look like. And the best part about it is it really helps you to prepare in a way that lets you to be dealing with as much as possible. So I can't really tell you how to predict the future, but I can tell you how to think about the future and then anticipate it and prepare for it to the extent possible. And my guess is in the process of preparing and thinking and analyzing and under determining what's going on, you'll become more agile, more flexible, more able to respond to whatever you face. So that's my story. If you're talking with a colleague who's facing a decision or an organization that may be making an important decision, make sure they're thinking about the failure sides of it, not just the potential upsides, potential benefits, and give them an idea of doing a pre-mortem. It's super valuable. And with that, I'm going to say, see you next week. I'm looking forward to that. I'm Bruce Spurlock, Viral Healthcare. We examine all these trends in detail every week. So if you want to learn more, contribute more, understand more, come visit us either on the podcast or here on LinkedIn.